Welcome to the first Eagles podcast for the Fly Eagles show. My name is Dan. I got Brandon here with me. We're going to go over some basic kind of get-to-know-you questions. I'll introduce myself real quick. My name is Dan Stolferi. I've been, an Eagles fan since I've been born. My first memories are going to the game with my dad. Never got to see the end of a game because we always had to leave early to beat traffic, but that was just my dad trying to get out of sitting at the game for that long. But that was also back when the Eagles were nothing like what they are today. So I want to introduce my co-host. This is Brandon. I'll let Brandon introduce himself.
Hey, how you guys doing? Like Dan said, Brandon Harbaugh from the sweetest place on earth. If you don't know, that's Hershey, Pennsylvania. For me, I became an Eagles fan in about 1997, 1998 area. The Ricky Waters was the running back. We had Irving Fryer as the wide receiver. And how it came about is my family is diehard Cowboys fans, and I always loved the eagle as an animal, and I like green. So one time the Cowgirls, we're going to say, was playing the Eagles on TV, and I said, everybody was cheering for the Cowgirls, and I said, well, I'm going for the Eagles, and we won. And ever since then, I'm an Eagles fan. I love the green, the Kelly green, all that, and here we are today. So back in those days, it's not like it is today, but hey, I'm grateful, and here we are. So let's keep pushing strong, birds. Let's go.
Jeez, I remember when I was a kid, you could get tickets to the game for like $20. Could you imagine that? $20.
That's crazy. And we might get up to it too. My first Eagles game, my wife now was my girlfriend then. She took me to my first game, so I had to marry her, of course. But I believe we paid 2 tickets for about $600, and that was back in 2016, and they ain't that cheap no more. So they keep going up, but
not close at all. I looked at tickets this year, and they're up even more, which is obvious because we're the Super Bowl champions, so you can't beat that, right?
No, you know what we say, go Birds, Yeah, go Birds.
I got to wait for them to try to get down to the Panthers so I can afford to go to a game.
Yeah, or play the Giants. We'll take over MetLife, right?
That's true, yeah. And we do this year for sure, so I think I might be planning the trip on that one.
Awesome.
I don't know. So I want to ask you a few questions. I'd like to know, what is your first memory as an Eagles fan? Maybe either going to the game or watching on TV. What do you what sticks with you as one of your first memories?
Yeah, so that's a great question. One of the major things that really stick to me is when I was a kid, and I did decide to become an Eagles fan. Was at a family cookout with my grandma. My family was all there. My grandma, my aunt, my cousins were all Cowboys fans, and they put this football game on, and I'm like, why are they so into this show? Because at the time I'm a kid, maybe like 8 or 9 or 10 at that time, and they're cheering, and I'm like, hey, I see a bird logo. I saw the green. I said, hey, I'm going to cheer for the other team. And I thought it was funny at first because they all knocked me down. They're like, how are you going to cheer against our team? And I'm like, well, I guess this is my team now, And ever since then, it was always a family feud as far as football. Sure. So that always sticks with me.
Yeah, it's weird. I try to think back. One of the memories I have, I was a kid. I was probably 8 years old, and we were at the vet. Guy in front of us was so drunk that I don't know how he was even sitting upright. He ordered a hot dog, and the hot dog comes down. The hot dog vendor takes the mustard packet and sticks it in with the bun so that way he can hand it down just with one hand. So he passes it down. It's going down the row. Guy gets the hot dog and just starts eating it. Ate the mustard packet, everything. It's how drunk do you have to be that you're going to chew a mustard packet? That was crazy. I remember even my friend Brian was there. I'm like, Brian, look at this. He's going to eat that. And he ate the whole damn thing.
Better him than me, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to say I haven't maybe been drunk before, but I don't know that I've ever been that bad. So I think I'd maybe tasted plastic. But
yeah, I speak for yourself. I drink colored water, but I can't say I was ever drunk, I'm just kidding. We all been there.
Of course. What do you think about how Nick Sirianni has really, the start of last season, there was a lot of calls for fire Sirianni, and he's doing a horrible job, and team imploded at the end of the last season or season before last. What are your thoughts on how he kind of turned things around, and what's your overall perception of him as our head coach?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question, and to be quite blunt and open, I was not fond of his hire at the very beginning. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted one of the bigger names like the Belichick or someone to really come in and coach us at that time that was
Sure.
winners. Sirianni, he came from the Colts where they had some success, but they weren't really like elite, you know. So when
Of
he was
course.
first hired, I'm like, oh, here we go. We got another rookie coach or something. It kind of reminded me of like the Doug Peterson phase where it was good, and then it kind of like things didn't get as good going on. And that's the first thing I was thinking about. I'm like, man, I'll give him a shot because I'm an Eagles fan. So the first season coming in, I'm like, okay, he's doing all right, you know. But I was still a little not upset about it, but it wasn't my first choice by any means.
Sure.
What I can say about him is he's resilient, and he's a coach's player. And in today's game, I think that really resonates with the team and definitely us Eagles fans for sure. And he really won me over, you know. The dude just keeps showing up and preaching the consistency day in and day out. And last year when we started off, 2-2 it was. It wasn't pretty, but his message was the same. And with the stars that we had, I was like, you know what? I was one of the few that really wasn't calling for his job. I didn't like him in the beginning, but he slowly grew on me. And it's like at the end of the season, I'm like, wow, he keeps preaching it, showing up, doing your job, paying attention to the details. And I'm happy that I stayed against the opposite side where, hey, I gave him that chance. So last season when everyone was in the group was saying, oh, fire him, I was like, man, he had winning seasons before. I mean, 2 seasons ago we had that late collapse.
Sure.
I'm not fully sure like it was because of him. I mean, there's a lot of things that we may not know, you know, and that's fine, but we could speculate. But he definitely anchors in, and I think I know now, I believe that he has the Philly grit that we do like. I mean, look, the dude shaved his head last year at that 2-2 mark, which I don't think I'm shaving my head, right? But he did that, and I think that was a solid point to turn the season around to let his players know that, hey, he's here for the long haul, and you guys need to get your butts in gear, and let's really do this thing. And what do you know? 2-2, and fast forward, Super Bowl champs, go Birds, and hey, I'm with Nick now.
You know, one thing that stands out for me with him is just Philly fans are passionate. To me, we're the most passionate fan base of any sport. Pretty much, maybe, I don't know, European soccer, they get kind of nuts. But as far as football goes, there's no one that even comes close to Birds fans.
Sure.
So with him, he's not reserved. I mean, he wears his emotions on his sleeve, and I have the utmost respect for that. I mean, I remember that one game where he was run down the sideline and someone was saying something to him. I don't know if it was one of the linesmen or I don't know who it was, and he mouthed, you know, I know what the F I'm doing. Just that passion, just the he doesn't give a crap. I mean, he's going to do what he's going to do, and I just, like I said, I have the utmost respect for that. I want someone who is as passionate about the team as I am. So, and he definitely, I mean,
absolutely,
he just personifies that. So,
absolutely,
you know, I definitely absolutely love that. What are you looking forward to this season? We just came off the Super Bowl win. You know, we're the team to beat. We are the highest on the pedestal right now, and everyone's going to be gunning for us. Everybody. What are your expectations of this season? You know, what do you think? Just being realistic, being optimistic. What do you think of this season?
Hey, and that's funny you bring this up. So I mean, I try to be. Of course, you want to say we're going undefeated. We're winning the Super Bowl again. In all honesty, I think we have a great shot if we can stay healthy. To make it back to the Super Bowl. And the truth is, like, once you get to the Super Bowl, win or lose, I mean, that's an accomplishment because you're the team on your side, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
As far as our season, since we won last year, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to have the same amount of success from a win-the-loss column because now our schedule, I think, is the second or third toughest in the NFL, right? So, realistically, I mean, I think we should win the conference, and if we don't win the conference, we'll get in at the wild card. My expectations or my realistic thoughts I would not be upset if we went 11 and 7 or 11 and 6, 12 and 5 or 12 and 6, somewhere in that range. Because now we play the 17 games. So I don't think we're going to go 16-1 or 14-2 or you know what I mean.
Sure.
I think we're going to lose a couple games, especially with the younger defense. But I'd rather get those losses out in the beginning. Now I don't want that to happen, but I'm setting the bar at like more of a baseline because with the harder schedule, that's just kind of what I'm leaning towards with my realistic expectations. But I think we will get back to the playoffs, and at that point, I think Philly's going to take over, and hopefully we have the home field advantage. I'd love that. But, I mean, there's a couple teams that definitely made some changes that some of the teams that was on the bubble last year that could surprise people this year. So, like I said, I mean, I'm not expecting an undefeated season by any means, but I do expect us to get back to the playoffs. And, I mean, really, it's Super Bowl or bust, you know, for sure. But as far as the wins and loss, hey, as long as we can get enough to get to the playoffs, and I'm happy with that. So,
yeah, I feel like we're playing on house money here. So, you know, we're the champions. And all the season, we will still stay the Super Bowl champions regardless of what happens. So I feel like we're playing with house money here. You know, looking to just the NFC East, in my opinion, the only team that I see that's really a threat is the Redskins. I mean, they started bringing it on last year. I mean, they beat us once, and obviously we smacked them hard after that. But, you know, they're really to me, right now, they're the only team that I see as a threat. Dallas has still got Jerry Jones, so we know what they're going to be like.
yeah.
So the Giants, it's the Giants. I mean, you know, so
sure.
I just
I agree with that. I think we're the team to beat in the NFC. I think we have the overall best record. Like I said, I think it really comes down to us. We have depth, so we just want to be healthy, you know.
Sure.
And an unpopular opinion is Saquon Barkley, right? I really don't want them to run him as hard as he did last year. Like, I don't think he's going to get 2,000 yards again this year. And if I was them, I would spread it. I'd cut his workload back a little bit and maybe shoot for the 12 to 1,400 yard mark. And I would more balance some of the passing in the beginning because I think they're going to load the box with Barkley rushing for 2,000, with Hurts being able to scramble. I think if Hurts can come out and really prove a point and get the precision passing down, that's going to open the field up later for the run. And I think Shipley and the other running back we got, I'm shooting, what's his name?
That's a
AJ
sign you're getting
Dillon,
old.
right? I think Dillon's going to come in and be a great compliment because he's a heavier bruiser, you know.
Sure.
And Washington, I think, is the next best team. However, I think Washington's going to have a little bit more tough time because now people take Jaden Daniels a little bit more serious. We have film to watch him, so we know what he does well.
Sure.
So I don't think Jaden Daniels is going to take that next step this year like everybody thinks. Last year, he was under the radar, so people didn't have the tape or the background on him to see what kind of player he is, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And now it's going to be a little bit easier to contain him. I think they're going to be able to take a little bit more of that threat away from what they did last year. So I definitely think that's a.
And I definitely don't want to say this, but I think the Giants, depending on what Russell Wilson shows up, I believe that like they could be the team to sneak into like the middle of the pack. You know,
I think they're kind of like the sleeper.
Yeah, the sleeper. Yep.
You know what's crazy is that there's not been a single. We've not had a repeat NFC East champion in was it 20 years now? Something like that.
I wasn't going to say that, but you just did. So
no, well, we're going to break it this year. This is going to be the first year that that doesn't matter, right? There's statistics made to be broken, so that's all.
Sure.
So, looking forward a little bit more, what player is kind of exciting you the most with the team coming up this year? Who do you have your eye on? Who do you think is going to just maybe impress? And it doesn't have to just be a rookie, but just in general.
Yeah. I really think I'll give you an offensive and defensive player. I think Devontae Smith this year is going to have a huge breakout year. And the reason I say is everybody knows we're going to Barkley. Everybody knows A.J. Brown's that threat. I'd actually like to see a little bit of load go off, and I think they're going to double team A.J. Brown in the beginning. And I think that's going to give Smitty a lot more opportunities to make some of those bigger catches like he's been doing all his career. But I think he's going to get more targets. And I think the balance between them two is going to get a lot closer than really AJ staying on the top pedestal, and that's a benefit for us, you know. So that's what I think on the offensive side. On the defensive side, I got two players. I think with a lot of the younger people, the more aggressive side, I think Jalen Carter is going to take the next step going forward this year, as well as the rookie Jahad Campbell. I think he's going to be a huge sleeper because in college, that dude balled out. And
Yeah.
now coming into Philly, being a backup, but now he's starting week 1 because Nakobe Dean's out still. I think he's going to end up taking that role. And I think we're going to see Nakobe Dean be more of a depth piece, unfortunately.
No, you took two of my players, Jalen Carter and but just with Jalen Carter, I think this year is going to. I feel like this could be a breakout year for him. I really do. I feel like that this is something that he could really step into. He had a great season last year, but I think there's only room for improvement for him. I think the sky's the limit for him.
Yeah. Yep. And I think with the younger refresh line, I think that's it's a little bit faster on the outside. And I think with Jordan Davis clogging up 2 people, you can't keep double teaming everybody. So
Sure.
You're going to have to protect the edge if we get a couple edge sacks. And I think that's when Jalen Carter is going to go rush him right up the center. And I think his numbers this year is going to be a little bit better in that regards. He's been playing great. I can't knock it, but I would love for him to get like that Aaron Donald type sack season. You know what I mean?
Sure. I think Jihad Campbell is also on my list. I think in this system, with the way we develop players, if he was a beast in college, I really think that this team can mold him into a star in the NFL. So I think he has the right support staff behind him to really grow and flourish. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. So we have Dallas coming up week 1. I'm a little worried about this one. I'm not worried about I'm worried about how we play, not how Dallas plays. We're the Super Bowl champions, and you've played sports before. I played sports before. When you're the best, sometimes you don't take whoever you're playing as serious as you should. And you play down to their level and not make them play up to your level. So that's my only fear is, will we play down to their level, or are we going to make them play up to our level? And there's that complacency, and sometimes you got to be smacked in the mouth and get in that right mindset. So that's my only concern with this game. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this Dallas game?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna. This is what I don't like about Dallas or any of the the what I want to say, the conference that we're in. Right, we're all rivals, and for some reason, everybody always plays the Eagles the best, and I can't stand it. Like they lay ducks on every other team, and when you play the Eagles, it's like they play the phenomenal, almost perfect football every game, and it's like, and sometimes it's not necessarily us playing down to their level. It's just they play so much higher when they play us, like they have that fire. My fear is that Dallas is going to come in to our stadium, and we're going to be ramped up and hyped up, but if we don't bring that energy out in the first quarter or second quarter, my fear is that we put ourselves in a hole and we're playing catch up. Do I think we're going to win? Yeah, I do, but unfortunately, I think it's going to be a close game, especially the first one, just because Dallas always shows out. And like now Dallas has, Dak, he can throw the ball, and CeeDee Lamb is a great wide receiver. And George Pickens he's decent too. He's not nothing you can't not pay attention to. So I think they're going to hit us with a couple things that we've never seen before in the beginning if we don't come out with the same party hype up level with the banner dropping. And I hope that I'm completely wrong. I would love a blowout, but for some reason Dallas and Dak, they always seem to play phenomenal against us, and I can't stand it.
I know. Well, they're light Micaiah Parsons now, so he's gone. He's off to Green Bay.
Yep.
So I don't know how much that's going to factor into it. I don't know if they used him to his full potential either. So, that definitely is going to be a interesting one. So going forward with our podcast, what I want to do is I want to start bringing. This is all about the fans. That's what this podcast is going to be focused on. So what I want to do is I want to start inviting fans to be able to come onto the show, give us their take, get some feedback from them, have just general discussions like we're doing now. We're affiliated with the Philadelphia Eagles fan group on Facebook. We're approaching 400,000 members, and we're going to reach out to those members and invite them to come on this show and have just open conversation. I don't claim to be a football expert at all, but I am a very passionate football fan, and that's what I bring to this show. So that's what I'd like to see going forward. You have any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Hey, no, it's been a pleasure to be here as well. Like you said, I would love to see the podcast grow. Like you said, the group we have, you can't sugarcoat it, but I can. It's the greatest Eagles group out there. We keep it strictly Eagles related. All the nonsense, the politics, or any outside noise, we don't allow it in there, you know. And
Yeah, exactly.
having people to share their opinions, like you said. I mean, like you said, I'm no football expert, but I'm highly passionable. If you want to think you're going to be out passioning me on the Eagles, I'm going to tell you to try again and pick somebody else out, because hey, I bleed green just like we all do. But this is a great space for us to grow and get to know each other, but with one common goal. We got to share our birds with the world and let them recognize there's the best fan base. We're the best fans out there, and let's keep winning the Super Bowl. So other than that, hey, I love it. I love the vision, and I would leave it with my 3 words: fly, Eagles, fly. Let's go.
That's right. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. We'll say go Birds, and we'll talk to you next time. So go Birds, guys.
Hey, go Birds.